Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for and assume
strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the US.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't and the worst happens.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
The comment that I view myself as a transitional president, they meant, is that one term? It's transition to your generation. You're the best educated, you're the most open, you're the least prejudiced generation in American history. I have had overwhelming support from police my whole career up until this year, as your husband will tell.
Wow. That's why you're transitional, right? Because you're throwing everything you ever thought you believed. By the way, the only reason he had support of the police was because of the unions, right? Joe Biden's been a total disaster, complete disaster, and now it's been outed. He's defunded the police. Also, the family is totally and completely corrupt. They're in business with the Chinese Communist Party. Lots of evidence of that. They can run and hide from it, but completely complicit. I wish and hope the campaign continues to hammer that, starts to hammer it. It's one of the big, I think, differences with Biden that they're not making that big a deal about, but they ought to. Raheem Ghassan, let's go back to this polling. I think people, and then, do you also have the Florida poll?
I have the Florida poll.
Okay,
up
but let's
on
finish
my
with your
computer.
CNN poll. CNN poll has got Trump down 16.
Yeah.
27 days to go.
Look, so we went through the number of people who say they might change their minds. There's a little bit more on that that I think we need to get into. So it tends to be younger people who say they're more likely to change their minds. So people in the 18 to 49 bracket are more likely to change their minds by people older than that. The other one is people who earn less than $50,000 a year, poorer people effectively, say they are currently more likely to change their minds than people who are more well off right now. That was what stuck out to me out of those numbers. And then finally there was.
Let me just say one thing in here, and also in Florida. Why is he losing the elderly? The elderly used to be his strength, not young. But why is he losing in these polls? In both these polls, he doesn't have the dominant position he had in 16 on older voters. Why is that? Because of the pandemic?
Live with it. Live with it. That's why. Saying things like "live with it," right? Not taking the fight to these governors who put people in the nursing homes when they shouldn't have done it. That's what the president should be talking about right now. He should be talking about how disgusting it is that 40% of the people that have died in this country, 40% plus, have died because they were shoved back in nursing homes in predominantly Democrat states. Not live with it. Now, just finally, issues-based. And this is how I think this poll doesn't quite stack up as a super reliable poll. I went back through the, what's his name, Nate Silver's website, and looked at the reliability of 538, looked through the reliability of SSRS. This is the pollster here. And SSRS ranks a B/C grade pollster. It has a mean reverted bias that leans towards the Democrats. And it's also only got a 50% racist called correctly rating. And this is what gives it away in this poll. Voters told the pollsters that these are their most important issues in ranking order. Number 1, nominations to the Supreme Court. Number 2, the coronavirus outbreak. Number 3, healthcare. Number 4, race relations. And number 5, the economy. The economy doesn't rank until 5th in this poll. And that's how I think you know that they've got some dodgy sampling and dodgy people, because that is just not true. When you talk to most people out there.
What are ahead of that again? Give me that again.
Nominations to the Supreme Court is number 1.
Yeah, it's weird.
Coronavirus outbreak is number 2.
Yep.
Healthcare is number 3.
Yep.
Race relations is number 4.
Okay.
And crime doesn't even come up there at all in the top 5, not whatsoever. And a lot of that comes down to maybe the media having stopped showing a lot of what's going on across the country. But it shouldn't be.
You believe the media is suppressing the Portlands and the weekends in Chicago?
Not just suppressing narratives like that, but then also pumping up narratives like this. So as I said yesterday, these polls like this should effectively be considered contributions in kind, because they're not there to take
That's real voter suppression.
This is real voter suppression.
Not
this
the
is 77 pages.
Not the stop the voting by the pound, stop the ballot harvesting. You're saying this is real voter suppression.
Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely right. And then, of course, you have the Florida poll, which I'm just going to pull up right here, which is...
Florida would be everything, correct?
Yeah, it is.
I realized the campaign briefed on the media on background about 4 weeks ago that there was path without Arizona and Florida. I do not believe that is correct, right? Florida would be central to this victory. So we got a new poll coming out of Florida. I'm not even sure it's been released yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's released yet. Okay. I'm just pulling it up here.
But the amazing thing is it got pretty even. It takes away your argument about the weighting. In fact, what concerns me about this is so evenly weighted.
It is very evenly weighted. So this is a Suffolk University USA Today poll that is pretty evenly weighted. I mean, it's one person difference, I think, between the two sides. Or rather, sorry, here we go, 3 people difference. So they polled 186 Democrats, 183 Republicans, 117 people who say they have no party affiliation or are independents, and then 14 people who say they're genuinely undecided, can't make a claim as to any of those positions. And ask the question... who are you more likely to vote for? 226, 45%, 45.2%, I should be specific, have said Donald Trump. 225 said Joe Biden. That's 45%. So you've got a 0.2% difference, which is obviously a margin of error difference here. But that puts Florida as very, very, very completely dead heat.
As you look right now in the polling, as you've seen it, polling coming out of Ohio, polling coming out of Arizona, where would you, from a polling perspective, and I keep saying it depends on the electorate that shows up, he's 21 to 22 points up with people that are going to vote on game day, right? And obviously you're putting all the burden on the RNC and the campaign and the state parties and the Trump movement to show up on November 3rd. It's a big burden to put on your shoulders, but right now, we do understand this is going to come down to low propensity voters. So any doubt in your mind on that?
No. And
it's not a persuasion game. It's a mobilization game. You don't have to persuade these the people. It's too late to be persuaded.
I think there are still some people to play for, and I think those will be important people to play for in certain districts and certain counties, but that's hyper-targeting, right, is what you're talking about now. You're not even talking about necessarily the big, broad messaging plays anymore, which is why I don't necessarily even think that losing these rallies is a big problem at this point in time. So many people are dug in over this. Yeah. But you do need to shore some people up, I think, over the coronavirus stuff, not least because this is going to be the media's tactic for the next 20 whatever days that we've got left, is they're not just trying to scare people away from showing up to the polls, they're also trying to scare away the Republican activists for the next couple of weeks who are knocking on those doors, who are telling people to get out there and vote, who are...
But that's not going to work. They can try all the fear tactics they want. The Trump...
But do remember that the Trump base, for these people, the door knockers and the people out there, the people who have watched outside the polls, the people who are workers, are older people than the Democrat side.
Well, I think one of the things we're seeing now, this is why you got to go to the army of Trump and these other websites. By the way, if you're a Biden guy, go volunteer for Biden. Although if you're Bernie, the Bernie supporters that list here, he said yesterday Bernie was a socialist, right?
Yeah, he said yesterday, look, I'm the guy who defeated the socialist candidate. You know, I'm not a socialist, and he's hammering Bernie Sanders. You Bernie voters out there, you are economic nationalists, whether you identify that way or not. You need to abandon the Democratic Party and come over to the mainstream and join us and reelect Donald Trump.
Well, just embrace what Biden's saying. Biden's a neoliberal neocon. I mean, it's obvious. You guys have got to make up your own mind, but it couldn't be more obvious that out of the room, out of the deal, and don't believe it's going to get better if Biden was ever to win. That you're going to get a shot at this thing. You're not. So the economic nationalist, the populist, is Donald J. Trump with all his imperfections. Let's go back to this. I want to go back to the polling. Any other observations of where we stand in the different states? Because now it's down to a state battle. And I think they're in panic mode. I think they're in panic mode because they've got a problem that their mail-in voting right now, their early voting, is cannibalizing their game day vote. And this is going to come down, I believe it's going to come down to low propensity voters and who can get them out. And they're scrambling. And this is why Bloomberg infused the $100 million into Florida for game day, right? And the $16 million to buy the votes of the felons.
The one other takeaway from this, I talked about these fireside chats as an idea. One of the ones he definitely needs to do is security of the elections in the U.S. 55% disapprove of the president's handling of the security of elections in the United States. And again, that's just because the media narrative is cutting through.
You mean the Russia's stealing the vote, that
Everything,
type of thing?
all of it. Ballot integrity,
well, he
all
ought
of
to
it.
He ought to get up. He's got a great case. That now you got all these bizarre, you got so many different rules in so many different localities, and I'm all for, hey, states got to run their thing, but you've got judges that are making this stuff up as they go along, right? Yeah. I think this is what Kavanaugh's ruling. They got this specific ruling. I think not the Rutledge ruling or something that says federal judges ought to not try to politicize this by making these rulings that change traditional way things are voted, and that's what's going to happen here. You've got 800. You got Perkins Coie and her professionals at stealing elections, right? Like they stole the one up in Minnesota with Al Franken. Didn't they find like a trunk full of votes to take it from Coleman? And you've got these guys who are professionals at doing this, and this is what their plan is. Their plan is to steal the election, the game day victory of President Trump, and they're going to try to reverse this. And you know how focused they are on this.
We have to look at these lawsuits that are coming out of Phil Klein's organization, the Got Freedom group as well, and we had him on the show at 3 p.m. yesterday. Mark Zuckerberg's group, the Center for Tech and Civic Life, has donated $250 million to certain jurisdictions around the country to make effectively to make their rules of how ballots are collected and counted count in those areas. Now, when you go through the top 51 million of those, guess how much has gone to Republican districts, Republican-held districts in 2016? 51 million. How much out of that?
I would say 20.
20 million?
Yeah.
Less than $300,000.
300,000. So over 50 million is going to Democrats.
Less than 0.5%, basically. Wow. It's gone there. So this is what we're talking about here. And these are the things.
So you're saying I was incorrect.
Off by a small CNN poll margin. The president needs to get up and talk about this. He has to do a live broadcast about this and shore up the idea that he is the guy who is looking after the security of this election. Because remember, the last guy didn't do it. They even admit they didn't do it. For Russia to have interfered, it means Obama and Biden were asleep on the job. So this president has to tackle this.
What these ideas of fireside chats? You're advocating right now. At 27 days ago, you don't need to get back on the road and do the rallies are great, but the Trump base, the deplorables are there. We see it every day in the live chat and thing. They're 100%. They're raring to go. Better have them go out and knock on doors, right? Better to have them go drag people to the polls instead of taking all the time for a rally. Do it digitally and do the fireside chats. Why do you like this concept of the fireside chats? You think that forces the media to actually cover these? Because they're not going to cover the rallies.
No, I think it blows through the media filter at that point. Because look, a lot of the big thing about the rallies is that we're relying on the media to cover them. We're relying on places to take it live. If you make it a very clear case that, hey, this is going to come straight from the president, you're going to be able to view it all across digital media, we're going to podcast it, be ubiquitous with it and just blow through the media's filter.
Well, the Real America Voice guys, which built a business around covering the rallies, they would love it because you'd have pregame, postgame analysis all day long. You lead up to it. He's going to have a fireside chat tonight. He's going to be talking about the economy. You'd have guests all day long booked. Here's what he's going to say. And then afterwards, the whole next day, you argue about it, etc. Be compelling television. And Trump's a mesmerizing figure.
I don't know that I'd call them fireside chats just because I think that
I agree.
It refers too much to Carter and maybe Roosevelt. What I think he might be able to do, though, which I think would be...
You wouldn't put him in a cardigan sweater?
Would be a baller move. I think he should do a pregame show for college football every weekend.
You mean it's take over from me?
To the state.
Because you're saying college football's back because he brought it back.
Because
right?
he brought it back.
And this shows you the return to normalcy. If you're ever going to conquer, if you're ever going to defeat... Right, and we know but if you're ever going to defeat it, not accommodate it, college football is key.
Yeah, and it's a crossover audience, too. He's going to capture a lot of different people. I think he should come out right before the big games and do like a 20-minute speech to the nation about how college football shows that America is coming back.
No problem with that, but it has to be every day.
Or even in between games, just say if Biden was your president, you wouldn't have college football right now. Just run an ad.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You wouldn't have high school football. You wouldn't have any football. What you have is a woman getting tased in the stadium. Okay, we'll be back. War Room Pandemic in a second.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow, and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price plus free shipping.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
His team. He says, quote, I had decided beforehand that I would share the full substance of CIA intelligence and analysis on Russian interference in the election without providing any specific details on the provenance of our knowledge. The sensitive sources and methods related to counterintelligence in Russia are among the nation's most prized jewels. And I lacked confidence that all the individuals in that conference room had the requisite understanding of classification procedures and controls, not to mention the personal discipline and integrity to avoid devastating disclosures, either inadvertent or willful. Moreover, given his public praise of WikiLeaks, his strange obsequiousness toward Putin, and his disdain toward the U.S. intelligence community, I had serious doubts that Trump would protect our nation's most vital secrets. And so some of them he kept back.
He would have the best and the brightest around him. And I just, one final thought, Michael, and I will just say it in great contrast to the current president. Jimmy Carter, at Dr. Brzezinski's funeral, gave credit to the opening to China to Dr. Brzezinski, said it wouldn't have happened without him. Let historians make that decision, but please, that was Jimmy Carter's White House. That was Jimmy Carter's administration, and Dr. Brzezinski did extraordinary things. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking about Dr. Brzezinski. I was thinking about the humility of a man who engineered, Jimmy Carter, the greatest most significant opening in American history.
Joe, you're a fool. You're absolute. I mean, anybody that knows anything about the CCP or China knows that Jimmy Carter, in total panic mode for pure politics, on the opening of China, gave away everything to Deng Xiaoping, threw Taiwan under the bus. Absolute disgrace. Brzezinski's a joke. What you did, kowtow to the Soviet Union. Remember, you were they were run out of the White House in a landslide blowout. Why? Because people realized what a disaster. I happen to be a junior officer on the destroyer, seeing Jimmy Carter in Zbig in their brilliant move in the Persian Gulf. Another disaster. Just disaster after disaster after disaster. And the biggest disaster, the one that had the longest term impact, wasn't the Soviet Union. Because President Reagan came in there and said, hey, how about this? No rapprochement, no détente, none of that. We win, they lose, right? 8 years later, done. Carter with the cardigan sweater on. Brzezinski, a total disaster. But here's the thing that's most... Brother, you are dumb as a stick. Even for, go to University of Alabama Law School, right? Even dumb for the University of Alabama Law School.
Country lawyer.
Country lawyer. With that thing on top of his head. But you're a buffoon. Nobody knows anything about China to sit there and laugh. Deng Xiaoping and the Chinese belly laugh. They put a little bit of pressure. Carter cratered. Total opening, diplomatic relationships, everything. Rush, bang, 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 bang. Rush, do it. He needed it politically. Totally sold out everything. Totally sold out the Chinese people. Didn't hold Deng Xiaoping accountable for anything, right? Eventually, the way they did it led to Tiananmen Square because they thought, hey, the United States will always fold, right? And the United States did fold until a guy named Donald J. Trump stood up. Why do you think they hate Trump so much? This is the problem. You got the Morning Joe crowd, and they got Haas, they got all these guys don't know anything about China, right? Don't know anything about the CCP. They've been kowtowing, and Brennan should, to me, should be brought up on charges. They got to go after Brennan. You're telling me the guy, I don't care if you hate the guy. The guy's elected president of the United States, the will of the people. You don't get to make a determination what you're going to show him and what you're not going to show him, okay? What you're going to show him and what you're not going to show him. And they just got to clean house. They got to clean this rat's nest. It's a rat's nest. I don't call it a deep state. I keep telling you it's in your grill. It's in your grill, and that just shows you in your grill. Brennan, what did you do on the Chinese Communist Party? The House report starts off by saying, sir, okay, that the intelligence community, led by you and Comey and Hayden, right, and Clapper, completely put the nation's security in jeopardy. Because why? You're all in the Middle East getting that all wrong, that we're still there 20 years later, right? Totally, you've made Russia 10 feet tall. They're not 10 feet tall. They're the world's tallest midget, okay? The people that are 10 feet tall, and we're going to find out what money you're taking, and you just said you know Biden in your thing, in your book, you know Biden better than anybody. Biden is corrupt. His son's taking money. His brother's taking money. They got a partnership in New York. They're taking money from the CCP in real estate. Biden's lied stone cold to the American people. President Trump trapped him in that thing last week. Said there's no evidence, no evidence. You're okay, brother. The Bidens have lied. They're totally corrupt. The brother's as corrupt as they get. The son is a drug addict, a terrible guy, national security risk. But Chinese call it BGY. This is Adam Schiff's house. Calls you out, Brennan. And you have the audacity going on Rachel Maddow, start talking about Russia again. You've jeopardized the security of this nation because you failed regarding China. And it's all going to come out. The investigation will come out there. It's all going to come out, Brennan. Your reputation is going to be destroyed because you and Clapper and Comey, that clown, right? And I did watch the Showtime thing on Comey. Oh, man, dude, that was so stupid. No. Come on. I don't mind. If you go after Trump, go after Trump. You go after Trump. He's a big boy. Go after Trump. But, man, make it intelligent. Trump's sitting there and he says, I only trust TV anchors. Are you kidding me? He's never said that. It's ridiculous. The whole thing, the dialogue was just ridiculous. And Comey, you know, it's ridiculous. And make McCabe and these guys, all these bad guys, Make them all look like they're trying to, dedicate service. No, you're not dedicated service. You don't get a choice. American people vote. Guess what? You don't get to pick sides and decide what you're going to show the information. You're just playing into the hand, Brennan. If everybody says the deep state, I say it's up in your grill. But it's Joe Scarborough. Everybody's going to say that. Dude, you just go back and read one book. You don't have to read 1,000. You don't have to know anything about China. You don't have to live there. You don't know about the CCP. They're belly laughing. Carter completely, cravenly cratered to do it all. I think it was before Christmas that time, right? Got totally played. They were belly laughing. And Brzezinski knew nothing about China. Heck, he didn't. He thought he knew. It's supposed to be the big Polish guy who knows everything about, the other new Henry Kissinger, right? Supposed to be that guy. Guess what? Not.
Well, let's look back at 1976 to 80. Let's go back and take a look at the record of Brzezinski, Mika's daddy, and Jimmy Carter, and look at some of the other things they screwed up. We lost Iran because of Jimmy Carter. The whole world has suffered from a terrorist regime now for 40 years because of Brzezinski and Jimmy Carter. We now have Chinese-owned firms that own both ports in Panama on the Pacific and the Atlantic side. Why? Because Jimmy Carter and Brzezinski decided to give the Panama Canal back to
Ortega. Not Ortega. Who's the bad guy? The bad guy.
La Piña.
Yeah, the bad guy. Well, we just gave it back and know it's going to be sold to somebody. If you look at what happened in the Soviet Union, they kowtowed to the Soviet Union. This is why Reagan won in a landslide. People looked at Carter, Mika, and your dad and saw incompetence and weakness, right? In the United States getting not just pushed around, our allies getting pushed around, complete, total disaster. This is why you lost in a landslide. It just took one debate. Remember, they held it all the way to the end, one debate. American people go, hey, that Reagan guy, people say he's crazy. I don't think he's crazy. Write this down, President Trump. It was just one debate. It was one debate. The whole thing flipped at the last second because the media had portrayed Reagan as a Hollywood B actor who couldn't stay on the stage, and people saw him on TV and said, hey, that guy looks like a president, and this guy looks like a dwarf in a cardigan sweater cutting down the heat in the White House to like 59 degrees with the weird Polish guy who doesn't know anything and is at least with Nixon, I got Kissinger and all his evil, but at least I got a big brain, right? Here I get the worst of both worlds. So it's a total disaster. But no, Joe, he opened China. That is so ludicrous. So ludicrous. You can open anywhere if you just give them everything and say, hey, let's do it. Throw our ally Taiwan under the bus and just do everything. Hey, have it. Jimmy Carter and Brzezinski couldn't pick China out on a map. Okay? Couldn't pick it out on a map. Anyway, let's go. I want to go to the, we got all of a minute and a half left. We're eventually going to get to this House Intelligence Committee because this is Shifty Shift. Shifty Shift's got it. This is a serious report. Of course, here's why you know it's serious. The media is not covering it, right? They're covering Brennan's book.
Neither are we, apparently.
Oh, no, now we are.
Also in 1976, by his own admission, and this is all I need to know about the man, Brennan, at age 21, first exercised his right to vote by voting for the communist candidate for president. This is by his own admission.
And this is the 72 election?
76.
76 election? Yeah. 76 election. Coming out of Watergate, vote for Gus Hall. Who would vote for Gus Hall?
This kid raised during the Vietnam era, and his first inclination when he gets into a voting booth is to pull the communist lever.
But Brennan's such a rebel. He's got that earring. He lived in Greenwich Village. He voted for a communist. Dude, you're just another stupid Mick, okay? And I can say that because I'm a Mick, okay? But I can pick out a dumb Mick, right? Because I have a family that's, maybe 50-50, right? You're in the lower quartile of that family.
Are you in the margin of error?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
This show is lit, by the way.
Okay, no. Brennan, this whole thing about he's going to choose, he's so high and mighty, Comey, all of them. Look at him. Stan Clapper up there, Hayden up there, Comey up there. It looks like, first of all, it looks like the couch in Animal House. Okay, looks like the couch in the couch in Animal House or the bar in Star Wars. Okay, I'm gonna let Raheem take it out and he can bring it back in on the Hipsy. War Room Pandemic. We want to hear what you have to say. # War Room Pandemic or the live stream. And yes, Jack Maxey's In the war room today, he's all in one zip code.
Not sure. We got a new
zip codes.
New Monmouth poll out. We'll get into it after the break.
Uh-oh, there you go. Slow slicing fruits, veggies, and those stingy onions that bring you to tears. But not anymore. Introducing NutriChopper, the compact handheld speed slicer that cuts up to 10 times quicker than a knife. Watch. You can have one slice or 10 perfect slices at once. Amazing! You can just julienne, or you can bundle slice julienne sticks at lightning speed. With NutriChopper, you can slice the entire onion or mince a mound of onions and never have time for tears. Why slice a single apple wedge when you can wedge it all in one snap? NutriChopper comes with the razor-sharp interchangeable stainless steel blades you need to make all of the cuts you want and all incredibly quick. Chop thick slices, chop thin slices, chop cubes, chop sticks, and wedge whole fruits and vegetables in just 1 second. Slice it and cook it right in the pan, right on your stove. Chop and slice right into the pot for a family-sized stew with no mess. Snap and slice a fruit salad for the kids right into the bowl in seconds. Slice up a healthy salad for a quick and easy meal on the go. Cube meats and cheeses quick, in a snap. And NutriChopper comes with a perfect portion container and fresh-keeping lid so you can slice it, seal it, and store it all in one. To clean, simply rinse or rack it in the dishwasher. Then lock it to store it safely in a drawer. And now the NutriChopper with the thin slice, thick slice, wedge, and cube blades, and the slice and store container and lid, a value of over $40, is yours for just $19.99. But wait! Order now and we'll even pay the shipping for you. You get the complete NutriChopper set with blades and container with lids, all for just $19.99 with free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-927-4071 or go online at NutriChopper.com. That's 1-800-927-4071 or go to NutriChopper.com. Order now.
Jim and Joanne are here to pick up the same prescription. They both know the system is not on their side. They both know drug costs are out of control. But one of them is taking back control with GoodRx.
Next.
So while he's paying that much, even with his insurance, she's paying this much just by using GoodRx. Use GoodRx to compare prices at pharmacies in your area and stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today and take back control.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
All right, welcome back to the War Room here on Real America's Voice, the John Fredericks Radio Network, G News and GTV, and later on in the day on Newsmax. I'm just doing that because I don't think we've actually done it on this show.
I don't think we did it this episode. What time is National Pulse today? Is what time?
3 p.m. We'll have Steve Cortez joining us.
Fabulous!
I believe in studio. I hope
wow.
in studio. Maybe via Skype.
Masked or maskless?
And actually being joined by one of our he'll have a full mask on. We'll make sure he's got the face shield and the plastic bag. Whatever.
By the way, are they using plexiglass? I think the guy in South Carolina killed himself by putting the plexiglass up. The Senate candidate putting the plexiglass up between him and Lindsey Graham. I think that was I think it was a close. He was really having momentum. I think putting the plexiglass up. And I hear, correct me if I'm wrong, but are they going to have plexiglass shields in the VP debate on Wednesday night?
I would imagine so.
Apparently they are, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I don't know if anybody's been to a casino recently, but every single person is a huge plexiglass shield. You can't have any drinks at the table, nothing like that anymore. I think they kind of have.
Have they got plexiglass shields at Morton's on the patio?
Of course not.
Sounds like
Okay.
Look, if Democrats can kill California, they can definitely kill casinos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
debates as well. I mean,
And I wouldn't be surprised if, when the president does return to the rally scene, there is a plexiglass shield in front of him on the podium.
Then don't have a rally.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the plexiglass shields it's a buzzkill.
Yeah, I've got the one that you wear on your head.
So we got more good news out of
Great news!
Great news out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Monmouth University poll.
Monmouth are pretty good pollsters.
Pretty decent pollster. Just broke, shows Joe Biden with a 12-point lead over Donald Trump amongst registered voters in Pennsylvania, and anywhere from an 8 to 11-point lead amongst likely voters. Those are the latest.
In the low turnout case, this was a dead heat in late August. Closer. It was a 1 point difference.
Yeah, it was in a low likely turnout in late August. It was 48 to 47. Yeah,
that's a dead heat.
Yeah.
So this gets back to your theory. Is this shifting to Biden, and can it still shift back to Trump, or what's going on here? What's we're seeing a number of polls. You're seeing. So is it what is the trend?
So it did so basically in mid-July, Biden had about between a 6 and 7 point lead, depending on. Now in the low likely turnout, he had a 7-point lead, right? And in the registered voters, he had a 7-point lead. So it takes 7 points in mid-July. Then you take us into late August. The lead has been diminished amongst registered voters to 4 points, and amongst low likely turnout, as you say, to just 1 point, i.e., dead heat, margin of error. Now the poll that just came out, it's showing a 12-point amongst registered voters, an 11-point amongst high likely turnout, and an 8-point low likely turnout. So the momentum is on Joe Biden's side right now.
But this depends on, for our audience, this is the electorate that shows up.
It is.
Right now there's a 21-point lead on people who are going to go vote on game day.
Yeah.
We know the fact that 69 to 75%, Bernie quotes 75%, of Democrats are afraid to go vote. And I think after this fiasco with the CNN and these guys over the last couple of days, hey, if I was a Democrat, I would never come out of my hole, right? De Blasio's telling me things got to be shut down again. I've got Chris Cuomo going crazy, right? All I see is I got Erin Burnett, her eyes are crossed. Everybody is just saying, this is the end of days. I hear that The View's in full meltdown because Trump's not wearing a mask, right? They've always given the president such a break. But you're seeing this. However, if you look at these polls and you don't break down the electorate, right? Certainly there's a trend here that, and you got to call it like it is a trend that's got to be reversed, and that reverse has got to be in the debates, and it also has to be. I think my recommendation: don't get on a plane. You get on a plane, you're wasting time. Get Don Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, Vice President Pence, Corey Lewandowski, Laura Trump. Laura Trump ought to be camped out in North Carolina like she was in 2016. She was amazing. Just send her around the state, do the rallies, and you beam in. So you're doing 6 a day, right? And then do a fireside chat, and do 6 a day, right? You got Laura Trump in North Carolina. You got Corey in Florida. You got Vice President Pence up in the upper Midwest, running like we had in 2016, running for governor of those states. You put Rudy out in Pennsylvania. Just bombard it nonstop. Don Jr., Eric are fabulous. Send them everywhere. And you beam in, and you beam in for 20, instead of doing an hour and a half in one location in one spot that the media is not going to cover. And God bless America's Voice and Fox Business and some others, One America, but even Fox is not covering all the rallies anymore, right? You need that time to be boom. This needs to be precision daylight bombing,
I think that's right.
as Bomber Command would call it.
Another voice that he should go back to from 2016 that I think will be very effective today was, remember when he would go to like urban centers and he'd say, hey, what do you have to lose?
No.
What
the hell do you have
to lose.
What the hell do you have to lose?
Yeah.
What the hell do you have to lose?
And now they know.
Right.
Right? Because they saw the best unemployment numbers in history.
Yes, in the Strivers economy. I happen to think that Hispanics are going to break big for Trump. I think you've seen on the polling.
What's big?
Over 40%.
Wow.
41, 42%.
Okay.
And that's big. I think we were at 29. I think when you totally loaded in, I think we were at 29%.
Yeah.
I also think, look, you got to get down to the micro-targeting here. You got to get to Gary Johnson had 105,000 votes in Wisconsin. Okay? Somebody's got to be targeting the Gary Johnson votes. The Libertarians have got to come home. You still have a Libertarian on the ballot, and I see that he's tracking at about 1%.
Yeah.
I also think, and they called the Bannon line over at the Lincoln Project. Look, the Lincoln guys, I think, are devils, right? But if you lose 4, 5, 6%, particularly in a place like Arizona, it's going to matter. Cindy McCain in the McCains, he was a naval officer and a hero, but I'm not a big fan of him as a politician. They got a lot of stroke, and people hold him in high esteem in certain elements, certain sections of Arizona. The Lincoln Project's all over that. I think some of the Lincoln Project ads have been effective, and these guys are pure hate Trump. I just don't understand the Lincoln Project guys, and when people got to come home, and that's what I think with the Republicans a thing, when you look at the judges, when you just look at the whole thing, in fact, I don't know what the Lincoln Project expects to do if Biden was to be elected. What are they going to do in the afternoon of the 20th? Because you're not going to the administration. Heck, Bernie's not going to the administration, right? Guys, you're not. I mean, you're going to be outcast, and don't think you're going to come back to the Republican Party. People are going to realize that you're worse than Jill Stein was for what. And look, Jill Stein was a big factor in the Green Party's kind of a non-event now, but that was a big factor. Hey, that was a big factor in 2016.
I'm not sure they care though. I mean, because Bill Kristol, for instance, he's not a conservative. He's not a nationalist. The guy's a liberal Democrat.
He's a globalist.
Well, again,
you're saying they're part of it then? Okay, fine.
I think that they just want to be king of the ashes.
Fine.
That's what
okay. But my point is they're not going to be embraced. They're not going to be embraced.
They don't care.
Okay.
They don't care. They're retired anyway.
Why don't we give you time to do? You got 6 minutes. Why don't you do the House Intel report?
Fine, real quick. Just because I don't want people to be out there thinking that I'm just buying into this Monmouth poll without any rationale to it. Remember when I went through the SSRS CNN poll, I told you what the pollster rating was according to 538, and the SSRS got a B/C rating and called 50% of races correctly. Monmouth actually has an 81% correct record and an A+ rating. So I just want to put that into context for you guys, why you take something like that. And of course, I look into the methodology, and the methodology is far more sound. It's equal weighting between Republicans and Democrats in this Monmouth poll. So there are things to worry about in Pennsylvania right now. And there are things, Steve, you glossed over it, but you did say it. He has to crush Biden in the next debate, and Pence needs to crush Kamala Harris. There can be no room for error in these next two debates. It has to be full beatdown.
Another thing that they have to hammer home, this idea that the Democrats, you're also seeing this in Arizona with a crypto effort on the part of the guy opposing McSally. They want to take away your weapons. They want to take away your Second Amendment rights. And I think that somebody should pay attention. I think this is one of the reasons why they're going after LaPierre and the NRA right now is in 2020, according to the National Firearms Industry Trade Association, so far in 2020, 5 million new gun owners, people who had never previously purchased a firearm. Do you really think these people are going to go vote for the Democrat who's going to take away their $500 to $1,000 weapon after they've just bought it? All these people should be reminded that the only way they get to keep those is by keeping the Democrats out of power.
So we'll take you to this Hipsy China Deep Dive. So it's literally called the China Deep Dive, a report on the intelligence community's capabilities and competencies with respect to the People's Republic of China. And right off the bat, this report is throwing down on the Chinese Communist Party. It talks about in late 2018, this is basically page 1, it's page 3, it was the first full page of text. In late 2019, the emergence of a novel coronavirus in Wuhan, China demonstrated to the world the profound danger associated with transnational crises originating within China's borders. China's enduring interest in preserving its own domestic political stability and international image in lieu of fostering a transparent and effective approach to public health placed the United States, our allies, and the world at risk. That's the preamble. It gets hotter. China's public response has been to further obfuscate the Chinese Communist Party's role in this international health crisis through the calculated promotion of fringe conspiracy theories and misinformation seeking to shift blame to the United States, muddy the truth about the virus's origins, and promote the image of China as a responsible global leader it gets hotter. Beijing's complicity in stopping scientific inquiries into the origin of the virus and its disdain for accountability require a strong U.S. response. Any appropriate U.S. response must be coupled with a rededication to ensuring that collection and analysis of activities within China remains robust, particularly in light of Beijing's opacity and global relevance. That's page 1.
This is a full-on beatdown and condemnation of the same intelligence apparatus that Schiff was promoting for the impeachment of Trump, right? Look, I think the good news here is Adam Schiff, and he's always been pretty tough on CCP. This is a meaningful report. You've had the House minority guys run around, the Republicans doing a more comprehensive of every aspect. But when you have House Intel with Adam Schiff, that sounds like it's coming out of War Room Pandemic, right? And what's so perfect about this, they drop it virtually at the same time that Brennan comes out with his whole book on Russia and Trump and all this stuff. Where was Comey? Where's Hayden? Where's Clapper? Where's Brennan? Where's Biden? Brennan says in the book, I'm his bestie. I was his intel guy. Biden's had more conversations with Xi. The pivot to Asia. President Obama depended on these guys. The House Intel's telling you, it completely dropped the ball. This is why we're in the jam we're in. This is where President Trump has got to fight his way out of a corner. And quite frankly, thank God, turned it around. I think Brennan's whining in his book. He didn't get invited to the Christmas party. Mike Pompeo didn't invite him to the Christmas party. Did you not get invited to the Christmas party?
This report goes
Irish need not apply to the Christmas party, Brennan.
That's because there were a lot of children there, and his face would scare them for crying out
Wow!
loud.
Don't go to a guy's. Oh my God! You went to a guy's looks.
Let's brave from Jack. Let's go from the best way for me to do this probably is actually to do a write up about it on the National Post because there's so much here. I can't read the whole thing.
Somebody get Natalie on the phone. She's got some work to do.
Of an hour. Yeah.
I'm going to do a write up.
Let's wake her up.
I'm going to do a write up. I'm going to do. Oh, she's fallen into the habit of the Young Turks in Young Turks. The road to perdition.
But here's the thing as well. We got into a little bit of DC jargon here. A lot of people asking in the live chat, what does HPSI stand for? It's the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, HPCSI.
We have Stephen Payne on next. Stephen Payne has done a film on Saul Alinsky. Next on War Room Pandemic.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra soft outer layer is a patented temperature regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
I'm Nick Bolton, and these days...
Hey there.
Hey there. It seems everybody has a pair of tactical sunglasses.
Good morning.
Morning. But what if you already wear glasses? Then you need these flip-up tack glasses. These new glasses fit right over your existing eyewear to give you all the benefits of our TAC glasses while you comfortably wear your regular glasses. Plus, like all TAC glasses, flip-up TAC glasses feature Bell & Howell light filtering technology that makes invisible objects suddenly become visible. There's just nothing like them on the market today. Here you go, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Act now to get your flip-up TAC glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship them to you free. But wait, order today and you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-284-4127 or go to flipupglasses.com. That's 1-800-284-4127 or order online at flipupglasses.com.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
I want you to call Chief Police Wilkins to come to your house immediately. It's very important.
What is it?
But if half what I suspect is true, it's the most diabolical plot that a madman ever concocted.
This film tells the story of a number of new wolves in sheep's clothing, ravenous men and women who seek to destroy our faith and future. False prophets with a clear and present gender agenda to destroy our families and corrupt our children by redefining the very nature and sacred dignity of being a man and woman made in God's image and likeness.
It's a vision of reality that says there are no truths.
So how do you become something if you have existence but no essence?
Children are not sexual from birth.
By their fruits you will know them.
The agenda is ye shall be as gods.
For our radio audience, that is Wolf in Sheep's Clothing Part 2. Wow. I don't ever say the Steve Bannon's films are over the top again. That is The Pains. It's going to premiere tomorrow night on EWTN, the great global Catholic, traditional Catholic channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, EWTN. Wolf in Sheep's Clothing Part 2. Part 1 came out. We actually were going to do a big thing about it at Breitbart at the time, but I stepped into the campaign in 16. I think this came out, Part 1 came out in the fall of 16. I want to turn now to Stephen and to Richard Payne, the filmmakers. What is this about? Because the trailer is kind of in your grill. So tell us what is the film about? Why should people tomorrow night go to EWTN and watch it?
Because it tells three major dramatic stories that are at the root of the whole development of the present gender agenda. That is Simone de Beauvoir and Alfred Kinsey and Kate Millett, the co-founder of NOW. And they have shaped fundamentally the whole movement that has led from the beginning, really.
So we set the whole gender agenda on society, how the socialists, communists, Marxists have used these methods to break down the morality of society and to change it, to turn it into this new world order. And so the gender agenda is we present the whole history of it as we see it by these new wolves in sheep's clothing. So de Beauvoir and Kinsey and Millett. And
we unpack very much the critical theory, and that means critical of everything one could imagine in the society that is underlying this.
And the crimes that were committed, especially by Alfred Kinsey and de Beauvoir and her paramour, Jean-Paul Sartre, crimes that were committed against children, to use that data to change the legal system and all the protections of women and children in society. We have Judith Reisman, who is an expert on Alfred Kinsey, who is a professor at Liberty University, and she is absolutely amazing. We've got a lineup of about 10 people, top people that have been interviewed for this film.
How long have you guys, we've got a couple of minutes left, how long have you guys worked on this movie?
It's been 3 years. So we started.
3 years. So you picked this.
Yeah,
3 years.
Yep.
A little over 3 years.
Why did you pick this topic? Why did you pick this? Why did you pick this topic over everything else you could have focused on? Why did you pick critical theory? Why did you pick these intellectuals? Why did you pick this?
Because they've turned everything upside down, and the morality that has been fundamental to American life, the morality that's reflected in the nature of our Constitution, is based upon the as we have in the Declaration of Independence, God, nature's God, and this is an attack on nature, on the fundamental nature that we have as human beings.
The natural law. Yep.
And so
natural law.
Yeah, natural law,
let me
the foundation of government.
Yeah. We're running out of time. How do people, tomorrow night, 10 p.m., EWTN, everybody knows how to get there, great channel. How do people get to do you have a website, social media, Twitter? Give us how do people get on top of this today?
Sure. EWTN tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have an interview with Father Mitch Pacwa, and at 10 p.m. Eastern, the movie will premiere for the first time worldwide. And they can also, starting after the broadcast tomorrow night, they can purchase DVDs from EWTN Religious Catalog, and they can also purchase the HD version of the film. The only place you'll ever get it at Vimeo.com /on/on-demand/gender agenda.
Okay, we got to pop. Do you have a Twitter handle, real quickly? Twitter handle, webpage.
We don't have. You can Arcadia.
Not a trick. That's not a trick question. Okay, we got to bounce. We'll get it up tomorrow. Stephen K. Bannon, The Pains, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock interview, 10 o'clock, world premiere, EWTN, Wolves in Sheep's Clothing Part 2. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.